All right, guys, this is going to be a video on how to track and journal your trading. This is pretty much every single successful trader I know does this, right? It doesn't have to be through the software. It could be through Excel or some kind of other paid-for software service, but you need to be able to track your results because what doesn't get measured doesn't get managed, right? And so specifically in my example, because I am a software engineer, I developed this kind of private software or that I use to track my trading results, right? And so what you see on my screen is this software script that's running on my local computer. And I think in the future, I will probably put this out live so that other people, including you guys, can use it as well, right? And so keep in mind that I'd still do this on a daily basis, right? And I'll show you later what the process is like for, entering the trades into your journal. So the first thing you want to do, this is the page where you kind of can view your trades that you've recorded, right? So I enter my name. If I press fetch, it'll populate a list, that shows the asset that I traded, whether I went long or short. Longing is buying, shorting is short selling, right? Number of shares I bought or sold, entry time, exit time, the percentage win or loss, the dollar amount win or loss, the setup, which I'll explain to you later, which is kind of the strategy, and any notes, right? If I press fetch, and this is what it looks like. So this is what I mentioned earlier, the asset that I was trading, if I went long or short, right? Number of shares I bought or sold, entry time, exit time, or percentage win, dollar win or dollar loss, and the strategy and any notes, right? And what your first thing you want to notice is this goes back all the way to 2018, and so I've been actually goes back further up, but I just clean out the old data, right? But you see the kind of methodical kind of process that it takes to kind of improve your trading over time, right? Every single trade going back 4 or 5 years, I have in this database, right? And you'll see back 4 or 5 years ago, I was trading for what? I was basically just playing with money, right? Just to basically understand kind of how the markets work. I wasn't actually trying to make money. Uh, so what you'll see is that the dollar value is not really important. What's important is you continue to enter the data so that the data becomes standardized in percentage values. And this is all automated, which I'll show you in a second. But as you can see, if I scroll up over time, right, you see the dollar values, starting to get bigger, because I'm sizing up. This is 2018, this is 2019, right? You see a four-figure trade finally, right? But throughout this whole process, all of my data is standardized in percentage values, right? Which is important. Let's see, let's go to like 2020, 3K trade, right? Boom. Um, but throughout all this time, every single day, okay, this is like a six-figure trade. So right, even though the dollar values, are like a lot bigger nowadays, the percentage values are still kind of consistent, right? And the reason why I'm hiding, I'm like blanking out the actual specific time and entries is because I don't know, there's like predatory traders out there like specifically target people if I like put out my specific entries and exits, right? So I like just for safety purposes, I just keep that kind of blurred out for now. But so this is the process of actually entering and exiting a trade, right? Or sorry, recording a trade. Let's say you want to trade Apple. Boom. You bought 100 shares, whatever. You went long, so right. So testing setup, right? We'll just call this strategy testing setup. Let's see, 2022, right? 11/13. Let's say you enter 9:30, right? You get out 9:45, right? Notes about, what you did well and what you could have done better goes here, right? You press enter and it goes into the database. It calculates all the values that I showed you earlier, and enters in the database. So what do you do with that data, right? You see two buttons. Fetching is just you see all your results. What's important and what's more important is the analyze button. So the software that I developed aggregates all your trading data, breaks it down based on strategy, and basically spits out these kind of important statistics, as I will show you now. So you click on analyze. Boom, it pops up this page, right? It has an overview of your trading, right? Let's see, over all the data that's included that I recorded is about 2,000 trades, right? My win rate is about 67%. My average win is 99.6%. My average loss is like about 6%, right? And so what do you see what's important about these values? These are the values that go into the expected value formula, the golden equation that I discuss over and over again in my quantifying finance series, right? Having this database, kind of having the software script compute all these numbers allows you to input, basically plug these statistics, right? Win rate, average win rate, right? If win rate is 67, average loss rate is about 33%, right? Average win goes into here, average loss goes into here. Frequency is the number of trades, right? So having these numbers in your statistics basically calculated allows you to plug these variables into this equation to determine if your system is profitable, right? If your EV is if EV is positive, then you are a profitable trader, right? Keep in mind, you got to factor in commissions, right? Just you don't have to like calculate like to the penny how much commissions, but keep in mind that you have to factor in the cost of executing these trades, right? So this breaks it down even by like your longing and shorting the statistics. This also calculates by time of day, right? But what's important, what's the most important is the setup kind of radio button, because your entire system is comprised of multiple setups or strategies, right? And so what you want to do is, this is why it's important to basically categorize your trading strategy and label it every time you enter it into the software script, right? Because what that allows you to do is to break your strategies down based on the specific setups, right? Each different strategy has its own statistics, right? That you need to plug into this equation in order to calculate if that specific strategy is profitable or is bleeding you money, right? And like I said, do not worry about the average dollar values, right? Because these values are somewhat distorted, right? 2 or 3 years ago, you may be trading for $50. Now you're trading for 50 grand. So this number is not really that accurate. What's important is that you have the percentage values, because these are standardized over time, right? Again, you have the number of trades, you have the win rates, you have the average loss, you have all these values that you plug into the EV formula to calculate if this specific strategy is profitable, right? And so the cool thing about what this custom software does is, remember that trade that we inputted, right? Testing setup. If we input that, what happens? You see it? It's at the bottom, right? Because there's only one instance of that. So the strategy is called testing setup, right? And it calculates the breakdown of the specific strategy. But you've only traded it once. That's why it's at the bottom, right? And so what this software does is as you trade more strategies, it'll automatically push the strategies with more frequency that you've traded to the top, right? Because this is ordered by the number of trades that you've executed for each strategy. Why that's important is because the more times you trade a strategy, in theory, you should get more comfortable with how to execute that strategy, entering and exiting, right? And so as a strategy automatically gets risen to the top of the list, you can, add more and more size to the setup, right? For example, if I'm just starting out trading this setup, I am only probably going to try to make $50, $100, right? As I get more comfortable, executing the trades with more frequency, now I can put on size, right? These trades I'm trading for thousands and thousands of dollars, right? 4, 5, 6 figure trades, right? But it takes time to build your way up from the first instance of a trade all the way up to like the 200s and the 100s, right? And so that's why I think this again, I built the software 4 or 5 years ago, right? And I still use it on a daily basis. And this is kind of a summary of kind of the methodical processes that if you really want to be serious about trading and investing, you need to do, right? Because nothing is random. Every time I enter a trade, I know the win rate. I know how much I expect to win or how much I expect to lose if I lose, right? And so I calculate I know the odds every time I enter before a trade. Nothing is random. Nothing is by chance, right? Everything is calculated prior to me exiting or executing a trade. And so that is a summary of kind of trade journaling, right? Trade journaling, which is very important as a part of your daily routine. So that's it for now, and take care.